COVID-19 pandemic has created or kind of exacerbated inequality that already exists in education and really in American society, and reflects that. The first decision about whether schools should open or not. We worry that if schools don't open and kids don't come to school, then the most vulnerable children will fall behind, because we know that disadvantaged children tend to fall behind during summer vacation, for example. On the other hand, we also worry that if we open schools, our most vulnerable populations might be more affected by the increase in COVID-19 in the community. So I think however we do it, we always have to keep equity at the forefront of our minds, because otherwise it's just going to exacerbate the inequalities that already exist. So I think the question is, how is this going to affect communities? We know, for example, that Black families tend to be more likely to prefer remote learning or choose remote learning than white families. They might be more likely to be an intergenerational family with worries about transmission, and with Asian and Latino families kind of in the middle. But perhaps the class issues in terms of smaller learning spaces are more likely to have certain health conditions in the family that make it especially worrisome if someone does contract COVID-19. COVID-19 has affected Black communities much more than white communities. But if that's the case, then if they're more likely to choose remote learning, then how do we make remote learning robust and make sure that it addresses the needs of those communities just as much as the in-person learning does? And I think that's the real challenge, is maintaining our focus on equity, even when we're just trying to get by, and everybody's working incredibly hard, but we've got to have that equity focus at front and center, because we know that this is going to affect equity. So, if that means having small group sessions with the most vulnerable learners on a particular day of the week, then that needs to happen. Or thinking about what resources families need to be successful. First, do they have enough food to eat? Do they have an internet connectivity? How can we help connect them to legal services if there is an issue with legal status or housing? Okay, yes, you need to do for your children, but also be thinking beyond your child in order to push to helping meet the needs of other families as well.